when muscle turns into madness. Meet the men who broke the rules of human size. Number 3, Paul Dillett. Standing 6'2", weighing nearly 300 pounds of muscle. Paul wasn't just big, he was unreal. Wide shoulders, massive arms, and a chest that looked carved from concrete. When he stepped on stage, the crowd didn't just cheer, they stared. Because they'd never seen anything like him. He wasn't just a bodybuilder. He was a mass monster before the world even had a word for it. But behind the size, behind the freaky proportions, was a man who fought for every pound. Paul Dillett didn't come from privilege, and he didn't have an easy start. He was just a kid with a dream, and the will to build something impossible. His early days were filled with pain, mistakes, and setbacks, but he refused to quit. Every training session was war. Every rep, every meal, every day was part of a battle. In the 1990s, when symmetry and flow still ruled the stage, Paul showed up and changed the game. He wasn't about perfection, he was about power. His traps looked like mountains, his arms were unreal, and his presence magnetic. The judges didn't always know what to do with him, but the fans did. They called him Freak Einstein, half human, half machine. He competed at the highest level, standing shoulder to shoulder with legends like Flex Wheeler, Dorian Yates, and Ronnie Coleman. And even among those giants, Paul Dillett stood out. Because no one looked like him. But that journey came with a cost. His massive frame pushed his body to its limits. There were moments when he collapsed on stage, moments when the struggle was visible. But even then, he never stopped chasing the next level. That's what made him special. He wasn't just chasing trophies, he was chasing transformation, turning a regular man into something extraordinary. Paul Dillett will always be remembered as one of bodybuilding's greatest freaks. But not just because of his size, because of his heart, the courage to be different, the will to keep pushing when the world didn't understand what he was trying to build. He showed us what it means to go beyond human and to become something unforgettable. Paul Dillett, half human, half monster, all legend. Everyone remembers Paul Dillett for his size, the freakish arms, the mountain-sized traps, the impossible width. But what most people never saw was the struggle that built it all. Paul didn't come from money, and he didn't come from a perfect start. Growing up in Canada, he was just another kid trying to find his place. He didn't have access to the best gyms or coaches. What he had was hunger. Every rep, every set was personal. He trained like his life depended on it, because in a way it did. He was fighting for identity, for purpose, for something that was his. While others were chasing fame, Paul was chasing transformation. Number 2, Markus Rühl. Standing on stage, Rühl didn't just look big, he looked impossible. His shoulders were like mountains, his arms like cannons, and his chest looked carved from concrete. He wasn't built for beauty, he was built for shock. And when he walked out under those lights, crowds didn't just cheer, they gasped. Because Markus Rühl didn't look human, he looked like a comic book character brought to life. But behind that monster size was a story few people know, a story of pain, patience, and pure determination. Markus didn't start as a bodybuilder. In fact, he was a soccer player in Germany. But after a brutal knee injury, his dream ended. Most people would have stopped there, but not Markus. During rehab, he picked up weights to rebuild his leg, and something clicked. That one injury changed his entire life. He started training seriously at 18. No sponsors, no coaches, no fame. Just a young guy in a small German gym with a dream to become huge. But it wasn't easy. His genetics weren't made for the classic aesthetic shape. His muscles grew differently, wide, thick, and dense. Instead of fighting it, Markus embraced it. He decided if he couldn't be the most beautiful physique, he'd be the biggest. Day by day, year by year, he turned himself into a monster, not through luck, but through insane discipline. His workouts were legendary. Heavy compound lifts, brutal intensity, insane volume. His diet, relentless. Meal after meal, chicken, rice, and discipline. No excuses. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Markus Rühl became the symbol of the mass monster era. While others tried to balance symmetry, Markus went all in on size. When he hit a front double biceps pose, the audience lost their minds. His shoulders looked like they could block the sun, but that kind of size came with struggle. Rühl faced constant injuries, shoulders, knees, back. His frame wasn't meant to carry that much muscle. Number 1. Big Ramy. Every era in bodybuilding has one man who redefines what's possible. In the 2010s, that man was Big Ramy, a fisherman from Egypt who grew into one of the largest, most powerful physiques the world has ever seen. Mamdou Elsbier, better known as Big Ramy, didn't come from luxury. He came from the dusty streets of Alexandria, working on fishing boats, training in small local gyms with no fancy equipment, no sponsorships, and no spotlight. But he had something more powerful: drive. Ramy's story isn't about luck. It's about work. Day after day, he trained in silence, fueled by a dream to stand on the biggest stage in the world, Mr. Olympia. And when he finally stepped on stage for the first time, the crowd couldn't believe it. A man over 300 pounds, shredded, full, and round, and a walking mountain of muscle. They had seen big guys before, but never this big. Big Ramy wasn't just large, he was perfectly balanced. His legs were carved like stone pillars, his back wide as a wall, his arms and shoulders massive yet detailed. He didn't look human, he looked sculpted by something beyond strength. But the journey to the top wasn't smooth. Ramy faced constant setbacks. Critics said he was all size, no conditioning. Year after year, he came close to winning the Olympia, only to fall short. The pressure grew heavy. The expectations became chains. Then came 2020. The world shut down and everything changed. But while others rested, Ramy worked. He went back to his roots, trained harder, smarter, and focused on perfection. When he stepped on stage that year, the world witnessed something historic. Big Ramy was no longer chasing size, he had mastered it.
The Olympia gold medal. The check for $400,000. And the title of 2021 Mr. Olympia to our winner. Big Ramy!
Every pose was controlled, every muscle detail sharpened, and when he stood in the center of that stage, gold lights pouring down, there was no doubt. He was Mr. Olympia. The fisherman from Egypt had become the king of bodybuilding. And he did it again the next year, back-to-back champion. Proof that hard work, patience, and unshakable belief can turn dreams into reality. But even with 2 standout trophies, Ramy's story isn't just about victory, and it's about heart. Behind the muscle is a humble man who never forgot where he came from. He still smiles, still greets fans with kindness, still thanks his country and his people for believing in him. Big Ramy represents the spirit of bodybuilding, to grow beyond limits, to push through pain and to never stop evolving. From the small gyms of Alexandria to the bright lights of Las Vegas, Big Ramy didn't just build muscle, he built a movement, proving that even from the humblest beginnings, you can rise and become a legend. Big Ramy, the Egyptian titan, the man who turned a dream into domination. Big Ramy's life started far from the gyms and stages of America. He worked long, exhausting days on the boats in Alexandria, hauling nets under the sun, his hands blistered, his body tired. But his mind never stopped imagining something greater. He trained in small local gyms, often with limited equipment. No sponsors and no real guidance, just passion, just the desire to become more than what life offered him. Every rep was a rebellion against his circumstances. Every drop of sweat was proof that he refused to settle for the life he was born into. When he moved to Kuwait and joined Oxygen Gym, everything changed, but it wasn't easy. He was far from home, away from family, living with the weight of expectations on his shoulders. The world began to notice him, calling him the next big thing, the mass monster. But the higher he climbed, the heavier it got. He faced critics who said he was all size and no shape. He placed close to the top at Olympia year after year, but never won. Imagine working your entire life for a dream and hearing, "You're not good enough yet." That pain could have broken him, but Ramy didn't quit. He stayed quiet. He worked harder. He studied his posing, refined his conditioning, and rebuilt his mind. Every failure became fuel. Then in 2020, when the world was shut down and most people were standing still, Ramy came back, sharper, hungrier, ready. And when he stepped on that Olympia stage, everything he'd fought for came together. Years of silence, sacrifice, and struggle turned into victory. The fisherman from Egypt became the king of bodybuilding. His story isn't about fame. It's about faith. In yourself, in the grind, in the dream that never dies. Big Ramy showed the world that no matter where you start, with heart, patience, and relentless work, you can build your own destiny.